You've been told your whole life to just think positive, smile through the pain, believe hard enough and everything will work out. But what if I told you that this advice, the one plastered on motivational posters and repeated by every self-help guru, is quietly making you weaker? Not stronger, weaker. Today we're going to break down exactly how positive thinking turned into a trap, and what you should be doing instead if you actually want to build real mental strength. Let's start with where this all began. Somewhere along the way, society decided that negative emotions were the enemy. Feeling sad? Stop it. Feeling angry? Push it down. Feeling anxious? Just think happy thoughts and it will disappear. It sounds harmless. It even sounds helpful. But here's the problem. Every time you force yourself to feel good when you don't, you're not healing. You're hiding. And hiding always has a price. Here's something most people never expected to hear about positive thinking. The more you force it, the weaker you actually become. Stick with me, because this next part explains exactly why. When you constantly tell yourself to just be positive, you're sending a message to your own brain that your real emotions are not allowed. Sadness is not allowed. Fear is not allowed. Frustration is not allowed. So what happens? Your brain doesn't process these emotions. It buries them. And buried emotions don't disappear, they wait. They show up later as anxiety attacks, as anger you can't explain, as exhaustion that sleep never fixes. This is called toxic positivity, and psychologists have been warning about it for years. It's the belief that you should stay positive no matter how bad or painful a situation is. It doesn't build resilience. It builds avoidance. Think about someone who just lost their job. Instead of letting themselves feel the fear and disappointment, they tell themselves everything happens for a reason, and move on immediately. No processing, no reflection, just forced positivity. Months later, that same person finds themselves stuck in a cycle of anxiety they can't explain because the emotions they skipped never actually left. They were just waiting underground, growing heavier, or think about someone going through a painful breakup. Everyone around them keeps saying, "Stay positive, you'll find someone better." So instead of grieving, they force themselves to act fine. They post smiling pictures. They tell their friends they're over it. But late at night, alone, the sadness they never allowed themselves to feel comes crashing in anyway. That's the trap. Positivity that skips the pain doesn't remove the pain. It only delays it, and delayed pain almost always comes back stronger. Now here's the part that changes everything you thought you knew about mental strength. Stay with me for this next bit because this is where it gets real. Real strength isn't about forcing a smile. Real strength is about facing what you feel, sitting with it, and moving through it instead of around it. Psychologists call this emotional acceptance, and it's the opposite of toxic positivity. Studies on resilience show that people who acknowledge their negative emotions, instead of suppressing them, recover faster from setbacks and handle stress with far more control. Why? Because acceptance doesn't drain your energy. Suppression does. Every time you fake being okay, you're spending mental energy that should be used to actually solve the problem in front of you. Think of it like holding a beach ball underwater. You can do it for a while, but the moment your arms get tired, that ball shoots up harder than if you had just let it float in the first place. Your emotions work the same way. Push them down long enough, and they don't just resurface, they explode. That's why so many people who look calm on the outside are silently falling apart on the inside. They've simply gotten very good at holding the ball underwater. This doesn't mean you should stay negative forever. It means you should stop skipping the step where you actually feel your emotions. Let yourself say this hurts before you say I'll be fine. Let yourself say I'm scared before you say everything will work out. That order matters more than you think. So what should you actually do instead of blind positive thinking? Here's the shift that changes everything, so don't look away yet. Replace positive thinking with realistic thinking. Instead of saying everything will be fine, say this is hard and I can handle hard things. Instead of forcing gratitude when you're grieving, allow yourself to grieve first. Instead of ignoring stress, name it, understand where it's coming from, and then decide your next step. This single shift from forced positivity to honest acceptance is what actually builds unshakable mental strength. Not because it feels better in the moment, but because it's sustainable. It doesn't collapse the first time life gets difficult. The people who seem the most mentally strong around you are not the ones who never feel bad. They're the ones who allow themselves to feel bad and still keep moving forward anyway. That's the real definition of strength. Not the absence of pain, but the ability to carry it without pretending it isn't there. So the next time someone tells you to just think positive, remember this: your emotions are not the enemy. Suppressing them is feel what you feel, deal with it honestly, and you will come out stronger on the other side. Every single time. If this video opened your eyes even a little, hit subscribe, because we break down exactly how your mind really works every single week. And if you know someone who's been forcing a smile for way too long, send this video to them. It might be exactly what they need to hear today.